till I die. Spurs diehards, Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards, Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards, Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards, Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs diehards, Tottenham till I die.
Hello and welcome to this Wednesday edition of Spurs Diehards TTID, Tottenham Till I Die. Tonight I'm going to discuss tonight's game with you, which is just finished. I've barely had time to get all the stats up. And the link is in the chat channel for anyone who wishes to come on. So we'll see how many come on there. I've got one comment. Let's have a look. Even old Paul, if you want to come on, Paul, just click the link in the chat channel because guests, people have got work weekends and they don't come on. If you want to come on for a half hour or so, just come on, yeah. Okay. So we'll get into the game. Let me get the banners up. Well, this was the team, and I suppose it surprised me as it did as many of you out there, actually, watching us on various platforms. 20 of you so far. Vicario, Spence, VDV, Romero, and Porro. Well, no one would have been too surprised with that. But Bergvall, Gray, Bentancur, Sarr, Richarlison, and Moani. Yeah, I mean, that would have surprised people. I thought it'd be a 4-4-2 anyway, because if you recall, when Bergvall got injured, come off with that concussion, Frank played him on the left. And everyone thought he might play more central as a 10 in different groups. And I went, nah, he's playing left-sided attacking midfield. And he played well there, actually, today. We'll get into the players, though. Yeah. So, Bentancur and Sarr, yeah, I wanted legs in there. If you're playing either Bentancur or Paulinho, you need someone with legs beside them. So that was good. Richarlison, Moani, I thought he'd go with Odebert, to be honest with you. But Richie worked his socks off as usually. To me, he's not up to the standard of previous strikers this club have had. His stats are good for this season. You know, he's right up there in the Premier League as Johnny Ham. Oh, I don't know what happened there. So, yeah. So, he did quite well. So that's the team. If you've got any comments in the chat, get them in. The subs, Kinks Gostin, yeah, the obvious. Dancehall, Polino. Oh, I've got Dancehall here twice. Udogi, Kudus, Odebert, Davies, Scarlett Thompson, William Barnett. Well, that's Dylan Thompson from the academy, and that's Williams Barnett from the academy. Both outstanding prospects, but we may never see them in a first-team Spurs shirt, as is the way with the academy. So that's that done. So we move on to the game. And we started quite brightly in this game, didn't we? We started quite brightly, took the game to them. I thought the idea was to not let them settle, get at them, which we did. We did it well. And then their first threat came in the 21st minute when Vitina, who was scored a hat-trick today, he lobbed the ball through to Zaire Emery. He tried. He looked in two minds of what he wanted to do, like with his foot, edit, lift it. It was a dangerous lift, which it was even awkward for Vicario, but he punched it clear. Then we moved on to 35 minutes. 0-1 to us. I mean, it was a lovely work goal, guys. I mean, you had Bergvall, who had a good game today, I thought. So Gray crosses it. Marnie heads it back across the goal for Richarlison. Head it home, an easy goal for Richie. But all good for strikers' confidence when you score goals like that, isn't it? Yeah. Then, what's happened here? I mean, 35 minutes. Yeah, that was 0-1. Let's get that back. Yeah. Then on 45 minutes, it was 1-1. A Vitina wonder strike from outside the penalty area. I was watching it, and the commentators were saying, "Oh, Spurs should have closed it down." Look, there are some goals that you can concede that are forgivable. Now, those of you out there that disagree with me, but I actually think this was forgivable. I mean, it was a tap from, I forget who passed the ball to him. He's a wonderful player, Vitina, and he's just hit it, from distance outside the penalty area, and 1-1. So I wasn't too worried then, because I was pleased with at 45 minutes. Excuse me, still got this bug. We were still in the game and going well. So I don't know what you guys thought of Angie's team selection. I mean, I was surprised with it, but I thought I would see how we go. And as it turned out, the players performed quite well, up to the first half anyway. And actually performed quite well all the game. We shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times, and that's what cost us. Just want to check the chat. Another capitulation at the back, despite the spirit from going forward. 9 goals, conceding 2 against, and we should all be concerned. Yeah, but I don't think many fans. There's a link in the chat if you want to come on, Roger. There's a link in the chat. Yeah, I get that, but it is PSG, and on their day, the best team on the planet. So, and we just had to play 2 very good teams, them lot down the road and this lot away. So in a way, it's a good way to put it behind us. We win our other games. I mean, like we make the playoffs at least. We're not going to win the Champions League, let's be fair. But we might just progress and play another couple of games. If we made the last 8, I'd be surprised. But, I'll back us, but we'll see. We'll see what form we're in. And by then, that'll be after the January transfer window when we may have another 1 or 2 quality additions to the squad. So then who knows? Who knows? I still believe we're going to have a very strong finish to the season because we'll have players back then. Solanke will be back and Decky will be back. And that's a big difference. I mean, we've lost, look, this season, right? You could say we've lost 4, our front 4 this season. You could definitely say our front 3 in Kulu, Maddison and Solanke, but then we didn't replace Son. So we've played a season without virtually our front 4 or front 3, if you want to be, harshly critical. So there's that. So, excuse me. Another comment here. Get your comments in, guys. Otherwise, this will be a very short show. Just done watching for a minute. It's almost 4. I can't sleep. Really it is. We really shouldn't have left Paulina out. Well, all right. If that's the case, I mean, like, Frank has to pick an 11, and he can't play Paulina every game. And Paulina he's probably the slowest out of all our midfielders. Bentancur's quicker than him, and he's good going up and down, but he hasn't got the legs to get across the pitch left and right. He's not at that age now. Still want us to sign him in the summer, not in January. There's no need if there's a clause, because any money for him, 20-odd million, would be better spent in January and bringing in quality players, because then we get past the April tax or financial report stage when we normally do our financial reports, and by the time the new season starts, you're starting a new year, so you can spend money. This is why I believe if someone like Semenyo has got a 65 million release clause, break it in January, see if you get a reaction from our rivals. And the idea of breaking it in January is because our rivals have spent heavily. So they might not want to be able to buy in January. They might want to wait until after the tax year and go to now. I could be wrong there, but we should strike while the iron's hot. We've had the investment. We should go bang straight in for Semenyo in January. Slightly off topic of today's subject, but just thought I'd give you my opinion on that. So yeah, yeah. Roger's here, good friend of the show. Good evening, Roger. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, I think I haven't cut the umbilical cord. I've still got the warm and glow inside from that UEFA Cup win. Couldn't believe it. We won 3 of them now. Yeah. So Frank, yeah. Yes, Roger. We all agree we need quality upgrades. I mean, the club are rumoured to be in for a a striker and a left-sided attacker. Right. Now I know we could do with a left back, and if we're going to bring in, because Spencer's future's on the right with Porro, I know we could do with a left back. Well, I don't believe we need a centre back. There's been rumours of him, and after he left-footed. I mean, you got Ashley Phillips doing well at Stoke. Luka Vuskovic is smashing it for Hamburg in Germany. Got the best heading stats going, everything else like that. I mean, he's good on the ball. His all-round game is superb. It's just superb. He's a baller as well. So, and I think once you've proved you can hold around the Bundesliga, next step in the summer should be in our first team squad. You know, so that's that. So, another comment I want to go through. One of the best things to come at this game was allegedly show the intent to win. Also, it's not running. So yeah. I think everyone was pleased that Moani got goals. We all want Xavi to get a goal next, don't we? You know, because Tel and Odegaard have scored for us. Yeah, and he looks a quality striker. He's a better striker than Solanke and Richarlison. You know, he took his goals well. You know, he's just better. And he gives us something different up front. You know, you can like the ball stick with him. He's tricky as well. Having said that, I thought Richarlison did have a very good game. He got the goal. He does. When the ball sticks to Richarlison, he looks good. And when he stops and he lays it off and it's coming off from him, it looks good. We just don't see it often enough. Having said that, his stats are very good. If he keeps going the way he goes, he might change Spurs fans' opinions. But I still don't think he's just not the quality for a club like us, really. I don't. And if we could get rid of him in January and bring another striker in, I'd be all for it. And so we'll see if the Everton interest is solid, if any stories gain gravitas around that, and whether, because then we still got Tel, to play there. Even the likes of Brennan Johnson could play through the middle. So it's not the end of the world if we just ended up with Moani and Solanke. Yeah, let's go to the next before I go on with the game. Hey Spurs, you're looking pretty good for us against a former manager in December. Hey, a very tough game against Arsenal. Don't like work afterwards. Not sure I'll quite get all of that. Yeah, keep your comments coming, guys. I'll go back to the banners on the game. Yeah. 50 minutes after the second half come. We had Porro's deep corner, Richarlison's head backs, Gray pokes it over Chevalier, hits the bar, and like Moani smashes in a rebound. I thought Gray had scored when I was watching it, actually. I wondered if that was going to be a goal line goal for the referee to look at his watch or whatever. But apparently not. It shows that PSG did look suspect from set pieces, so they look nervy. Yeah. Don't know what you guys in the chat thought about PSG at set pieces. We've got 47 of you viewing us now. Excuse me. Yeah. And then shortly afterwards, we just still celebrating our goal. 53 minutes. It's 2-2. Vitina curling effort beats Vicario. Yeah, there was a crowd of players in front. I don't even Vicario see it late. Even if he did, I don't think he would have got it, personally. I'm not putting him at fault with the goals. Yeah. So and this Vitina is one hell of a player, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, they're a great side. I mean, they had Mbappe on the bench, didn't they? I mean, like, for most of the game. 59 minutes, 3-2. Fabian Ruiz scores. Sarr caught in possession by Hernandez. Neves pokes the ball and Fabian Ruiz scores. Yeah, I mean, I like Sarr. I mean, but you see, this is where, I don't know, bit of naivety, or, you know, I mean, but he should have done better. He should have done better. He's got the physique to do better than what he did. And he was at fault with another goal as well coming up. So it wasn't his best day. Yeah. Got 4 comments. Let me go through them. Bees, mate. Frank should have never joined you lot. Well, look, I mean, Frank's took a. You can talk about this in the chat, and I'll bring your comments up because there's only the game to talk about. That won't take too long. And I'll look at it this way, right? I critiqued him about games this season, as all the admins on this group have done, and we've praised him as well when he's done well. But what I always come back to, what grounds me in Frank, is the fact that he did well at Brentford with limited resources. He's not a mug. He does know what he's doing. I think he's experimenting much. He's chopped and changed a lot with the squad. There's been lots of comments about too much rotation. Well, he's got to see what he's got. He's got to see what he's got there. And then he's got to find, not so much with the, we could pick a back 7 or 8 with the players we've got, you know, with defenders and that, when everyone's fit. That's not an issue. I don't think there's an issue if one or Polina or Bentancur's playing games. So the pivot's not really an issue. If we're playing the pivot, the biggest issue with us is the link play from the midfield to the forward line. When fans criticise the forwards, fair enough if they play poorly or miss sitters and find things like that. But if they're not getting service, not in the game, you know, to say someone's done nothing doesn't add up. The maths don't add up if they're not getting a service from the midfield. But still, the link-up play between midfield and the forward line is not good enough. And Frank's got to find not just a successful blend in midfield, because you can't play one midfield all season free. He's got to find successful blends of free and midfield if he's playing free in there, and the same up front. And so, like, yeah. So until he does that, we're not firing on all cylinders at all. I think the squad's got a lot more potential in it, but it's just like it needs tweaks. It needs tweaks. We're good at set pieces now. We've got a couple of guys who've got long throws on them. You should use every weapon you've got in your armory in games. Every weapon you've got. And yeah. And I think Frank is still learning himself. Like, so he'll learn. And where you learn from your defeats. The Arsenal one's painful. And the fans went into meltdown, and justifiably, you know, because it's the worst defeat you have in a season when it's against them, not down the road. It's the worst defeat. So you're gonna have a double meltdown if it's them, more so than against any other team. Don't include Chelsea because I don't really class them as a London derby rival. There's only one London derby, that's the North London derby. Let's go for another chat. We need better players for sure. We're a big club, isn't it? Yeah, true. We do need better players. What club doesn't? The point I made is the point earlier. They have Dash, like, when you're missing like Solanke, Maddison, and Kulusevski, 3 of your forward line, certain starters for most games, it makes a big difference. If you're missing one of them or 2 of them at times, okay. And then we didn't have Son. We didn't replace Son. So I get it. And the club should have replaced Son. They should have. They tried to with Slovenia and all that. Didn't come off, did it? I mean, it was typical Levy-itis, wasn't it? When like we couldn't get them players across the line. As he goes to Arsenal, you know, Slovenia stays at Man City, and the time we wasted on those deals. let's hope the new regime, which we've got actually, for those who don't know, apart from Vinay Venkatesham and Paratici, Fabio Paratici, in the administrative roles, you've also got Rob McKenzie. He's the chief scout, but he's got 10 under him, 10 scouts under him. Right, and so you've got all them looking at players. I've got a banner up for this actually somewhere. I'll bring it up. So before we get on to the second half, just flicking through to find it. For those who don't know, who haven't been on the show before, this is a recruitment team. You've got Rob McKenzie heads a 10-man team. So when people say, you know, who gets the players in, or who goes and watches the player and who scouts them, you got Max Legger, who's permanently based in Germany. We got him off of Bayern Munich. João Ferreira is permanently based in Portugal. Alex Fraser's in the UK. Scout Giuseppe Di Cadico in Italy, permanently based there. Seb in UK. And these last five, Jay Bucknell, M. Bennett, A. Trout, and Cousins, and they're scouting analysts in the UK, right? They're analysts. So we've got a massive recruitment team. So it's not down to Frank. Let's get back to your comments. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they were very good. Yeah, they weren't so hot in the first half, even though they had a lot of possession. They didn't do a lot with it. But second half, I think we were tiring, all that pressing. We did press well throughout the game. And I think it was a question of getting some fresh legs on. Hi, Pete. Welcome to the show, mate. Dim bench, sorry. Come on, Adrian. All right, Roger. It's 2 today then, yeah. Oops, my bad. I do apologise, right? And Dembele, not Mbappe, sorry. Yeah. Let's carry on. We're literally one of the biggest clubs we need to act like one when it comes to transfer play. Yeah, I agree. And like these targets should, like the players we're after, we should be talking to agents, clubs before the window's even open, shouldn't we? And what are the recruitment team doing all season? What are they doing? You know, I do believe they are acting and they are talking and speaking to agents and players and clubs, blah, you know, just to see if there's a chance. But the only time I get really interested in the transfer window, although we'll post obscure links because most of them are just pure speculation, is when they gain gravitas and like the clubs are talking, or we're talking to the player's agent, or the player's agreed terms. That's what you want to hear. And then you think, this story's got legs. And then you wait and see what happens. But January's tough to get stuff. It's tough to get players in January of quality. One, you'll get charged an extortionate amount of money for them. And two, you've got clubs in England and the rest of Europe that are challenging for trophies or high league positions, and you've got clubs in all those leagues as well that are in danger of relegation. They're not selling you their players unless they've got 3 in a position, you know, and you're one of them, and they're still stuck with 2 for that position. They're not selling. You have more joy in Italy because the clubs in there are still skint. Yes, we need to bring quality in. Yeah, he was great for us, Frankie, but no pressure in with us. Yeah, that's true. He's a no disrespect to Brentford, I think a fantastic club. He's done so well there, but now he's at a bigger club. And we wanted to see, one of the first comments you used to get of a lot of people on our shows was whether Frank could handle a game every 3 days. Well, he made changes today. And I don't think it was with Fulham in mind. I think it was the fact that I don't think he had a chance to think about Fulham as games come thick and fast. You know, if there was a cup final or something coming up, then yeah. But yeah. Let's move on to this comment. Shape bad energy for now. Batman makes subs and Frank Throne should have been a triple sub at 2-2. Just like, yeah. I mean, I know these subs were a bit later than usual, around the 70, I think. But we were in the game. I think it was just, I don't know. I'm still trying to get insights into Frank's mind. I mean, when I'm at games, I'm a season ticket holder, so when I'm at the ground, I'm not looking at play. I'm looking at players on the pitch. Then I'm also looking at the nine subs, and then I'm looking at like who's been left out of the match day squad in case they're out of favour. This is bearing in mind whether no one's injured, if everyone's fit. I'm thinking, right, why he's left these out of the match day squad? Why and what are they not doing in training? He's got these subs on the bench, and then I'm looking at the subs he uses regularly rather than other subs, and that gives you an insight into the manager's mind. So where he's going, who his favourites are. So, excuse me. Mr. B, in theory, Tommy should have better players to use from Spurs, but I'm not sure that's the case. This is a bit of this is perplexing because I actually think it's a good squad of players. It's down to Frank, who's experimented a lot, to get a tune out of them. We see today, with Gray coming in, I thought did well. Bergvall did well on the left. Well, I thought they did well. I mean, and that's against PSG. So if you can do well against PSG, you should be able to do. And they gave us legs in midfield, and I want to see more of them in the team. And if that meant that Bentancur or Paulina sits out, or one of them sits out in games, then so be it. But probably only one of Bergvall would get in because Moani's not going to be sitting on the bench. He's going to be playing regularly. Next comment. Can't fault their effort tonight. 2 mistakes, mainly down poor decision making from some players. If a 5-year don't make it, but they do because of poor football intelligence. I've always questioned like the mentality of some of our players, their football IQ. Just doing basic stuff sometimes, which they fail to do. The simple stuff. I mean, sometimes just to a fit, I mean, I get you don't want to give the ball away. With 100%, nobody could name a best starter, and Frank has had an luxury of that either. And that's a good thing, Warren J, isn't it? We should have a starting 18, not a starting 11. If you can put 5 subs on the bench, bear in mind you're allowed 2 concussion subs, 3 if it's a goalkeeper or something, I think, or whatever. So that's 5 subs. Right, all right, you get 12 on the subs bench in Europe, 9 in the Premier League game. So, yeah, I wouldn't be able to name it. I think that's a good thing because there's quality there. We've got more than 11 quality players, in my opinion. I know after 2 defeats, there's a lot of you that throw pelts at me and disagree, but it's just my opinion. The squad is better than what it's producing at the moment. I agree. Our players are injured has really affected creating finish like Frank's. Would be back soon. Yeah, Kulu will be back in December, and I would have thought Solanke would be back in a couple of weeks, if not for Fulham. So he'll be welcome back. Carry on, yeah. Fulham and Fraser must win game. Yeah, well, there was. I mean, if you looked at our bench today, he can rotate, and I think players could play 3 games on a spin before they need rested. Some that are superhuman, like Porro, played about 50-odd games last season, and Kulu played 40-odd games. They played more than anyone else. I think you get some people are just super fit athletes like those 2 are. Yeah, well, we don't know, do we? Because we've started this season. We've been good, we've been average, and we've been absolutely awful. So if we can find some form, who knows? We're going to need it in a Champions League. Right, back to the banners. There's 53 of you watching us now. If you like the content of our shows, please hit that subscribe button at the bottom round corner and give the videos a thumbs up. You can find us on We have a Facebook group. I started in 2019 when the stadium opened. That's got 15,500 members, but people on there, they don't use this platform. I'd love to get them all over, but obviously not many do. We've got a WhatsApp group. We've got Spurs Diehards WhatsApp group, which we only need your phone numbers or information, which you can give us on our XCOM group. We've got a Spurs Diehards XCOM group as well. And we've also got a Spurs Diehards Discord group as well. So you can find us on various other platforms. Right, let's move on to the second half. "50 minutes. We're on cloud nine again. 1-2 to us. Porro deep corner. Richarlison heads back. Gray pokes it over Chevalier. Hits the bar. Marnie smashes in a rebound. I thought Gray had actually scored at the time. And then while we're still celebrating, 53 minutes, it's 2-2. Vitina curling effort beats Vicario. That did come for a crowd of players. I didn't like what you see. I haven't had time to go and get the videos of the highlights of the game up. Blackcurrant juice for the throat. Yeah, there wasn't much he could do with this. I think he see it late. I think even if he see it a bit earlier, it was still beating him. Fantastic player, Vitina. And then 6 minutes later, it's 3-2. Fabian Ruiz scores. Sarr caught in possession by Hernandez. Neves pokes the ball. Fabian Ruiz scores. Sarr was at fault with 2 goals today. I like him as a player, but it's like he needs to be quicker. And then this is his second error here. 65 minutes, 4-2. Sarr botch flick. William Pacho, I think it's Pacho, I think I spelled this wrong, scores. One's about to rush to get these details up because the game only finished virtually before we start, 15 minutes after it finished. Right, okay. And then I thought game over at 4-2. I thought we're not, because I didn't think we're capable of scoring 3 more, right? And then on 72 minutes, it's 4-3. Marnie scores in the left corner after, jostling his player, winning it come off the ball. It fell nicely for him. Come off the Paris defender. I think this is what someone commented earlier about the substitutions. 76 minutes. Normally Frank does his substitution sort of 60, 65 minutes from what I've seen on average. He's left this a bit late. Maybe it's because we were back in the game at 4-3. And now maybe he's decided fresh legs might get us a goal. So Pauline for Gray wasn't kudos for Bergvall. Yeah, why not? I thought Bergvall had a good game. So we're at 4-3, we're in the game, and then look, 77th minute, 5-3 penalty. Vitina scores for his hat-trick. And that, you sort of knew this is game over now. And then the only last incident was 90 minutes. I think it was 90 minutes. Hernandez elbows Simmons and gets a justifiable red card. If you've got any comments in the chat, get them up. So, give you some stats. Now, these stats might change overnight because I take them off the phone and sometimes they're alter them by the time we're in the early hours. So, stats possession, they had 67% to our 33%. Make that right. Shots on target, 6-5, which sounds a bit surprising, doesn't it, considering we got beat. Total shots, 15 for them, 11 for us. Fouls, 10 for them, 16 for us. Block shots, 6 for them, 1 for us. Corners 5 each. Tackles 13-16. Clearance is pretty even, 18-16. Passes, there's 623 to our 290. Pass accuracy, 91%, 82%. And crosses 11. On the pass accuracy, this is what cost us the game at the end of the day. These simple passes when you've got to beat someone who's pressing you, when we're giving the ball away, these simple like 5-6 yard passes or short little dink balls which aren't coming off, they're costing us at the moment. When they come off, I'm confident we will thrash a few teams this season. Who, I don't know. So, down to game management. Don't know what you guys thought. Actually, the team surprised me. The performance surprised me. Again, after Arsenal, I was seething like most of the fan base because it's them. But I wasn't. I didn't expect us to get anything out of this game. I don't think many of the fan base did. I thought, well, a bit your handle for a draw, but much better, a much more encouraging performance. We lost. We're in a league phase. If we win the other games, we're fine. We'll go through. Worst ways, we'll qualify because it's the first 8, then the next scene, so 24. So then you would go into like playoffs. I think we'll make the playoffs at worst. And who knows? Because the second phase, you have to submit your squad for the second phase. I think after the January transfer window closes. Then Angie's got already Frank. I keep saying Angie, and then Frank's got a decision to make with Decky, because if Decky's back, someone else has got to drop out. Now Tell dropped out of this squad this time round. I can see Odeberg dropping out of this squad, possibly Kinski and keeping Austin in there. So yeah, we see. Well, that's a long way off anyway. So I've got some other banners. I haven't got a great deal more, but I can go through some other banners that I keep. Let's get you up to date with the 2 yellow card banners I've got. Bergvall got a booking today. I've added him to this list. So Richie's on 2, VDV's on 2, Porro's on 1 yellow, Simmons 1, Moani 1, Johnson red card, right? So he was banned for today. So I can probably take him off now. Right. This is the rules. Players are suspended after 3 cautions that did not result in a red card, as well as after any subsequent odd number. So if you got after 3, you get a ban. But if you get 5, you get a yellow card, you get another ban, 7th for yellow, but 9th for sex. It's not going to happen. I'd be surprised. So Richarlison, if he gets another yellow card and VDV gets another yellow card, they got a 1 match ban, basically, which isn't the end of the world, right? Because we'll have players back by then. So just want to go through. I can give you a little update on. Some of our loanees, as I've got nothing more about the game. Yeah, Mikey Moore's doing a lot better at Rangers now. He's much happier. Even the Rangers fans are taking a liking to him now. He's been playing more as an inside forward number 10. Luka Vaskovic is smashing at Hamburg. First game was disastrous. They lost at home 5-0 at Bayern Munich. Who doesn't lose to them? But he's got the best heading stats in Europe. And he's doing really well. He's a baller. And I think if you can make it in Germany, then you're ready for the Premier League in the summer. Ajayi's doing well in Doncaster. He scored a few goals in pre-season. He scored recently, I think, for them. I know Tyra Sula's a ball-carrying, very skillful midfielder. He scored in a win for Notts County, I'm sure. Lankshire's at Oxford. I think he scored recently. Phillips and Donnelly at Stoke. Phillips doing well. Donnelly not getting the game time. And George Abbott, who was smashing it, is injured. So he's out for a while. I just want to check And what did you... With the transfer window coming up, I'll just go through some players' contracts with you to fill out a bit more time. I'm going to slip up my drink first. Throat's killing me. Right, so these are the players' contracts for 2027. Richarlison, Alfie, Devine, and Dane Scarlett. I think the chance all three of them could end up being sold. I like Devine, I like Scarlett, but like with most of the academy players, rarely does. It's only about 3%, I think, of Premier League academy players actually become a member of their 25-man first team squads. Most of them are sold or let go. And the ones that do get played the most are those in the less wealthier clubs who have to play them because they can't afford to go out and spend hundreds of millions on players. 2028, you got Madison, Kulu, Porro, Vicario, Manor Solomon. Looks like West Ham are interested in him and Leeds are interested in Solomon, who's out on loan. It's not going too well for him in Spain. I don't know if he's been injured or what. Ashley Phillips and Damola Ajayi. So let's see if you're worried about losing any of them. Now, they're 2 seasons away. So if any of these were to go for whatever reason, we're going to we'll get decent money for selling players in the future. Not the kids, of course, but 2029 of these, you've got Johnson, VDV, who the club are looking to bump up his wages and extend his contract, even if it's like 3 years to go. So he's not going nowhere. Even if Real Madrid and anyone else come in, the club don't sell, he ain't going nowhere. Right? So don't worry about that. Odegaard, Brandon Austin, don't think he's got a long-term future in his football club. Jamie Donnelly, I like Donnelly. We'll see if he gets... Elogi Velez, he's banged a few goals back in Argentina on loan. I can see him being sold. Alfie Dorrington at Aberdeen. They haven't got no money. He might have to come back and go out on loan again. Will Lancashire, I'd love to bring him back in January and get rid of Richarlison and bring him in. But it's like with these kids, if you bring them in, there's no point bringing them in if they're going to sit on a bench all season. And Callum Alusese, another quality player. I watched the under-21s every game they played on Spurs playing in the season when they won the league and the cup. And they were a joy to watch. The attacking football was brilliant. Yeah. So these are contracted to 2030. Solanke, Gray, Udogi, Pat Matsar, Danso, Radidrags, Luka Vuska, Yang Min Hook. Yeah, Yang Min Hook's been doing okay now. He seems to be developing. Portsmouth, I think. Banged a few goals in there. Fans like him. We'll see. We'll see if he's... we'll see if any of these go on a pre-season tour. The last lot I've got is 2031. Kinski, Bergvall, Tel, Takai, Kudus, Abbott, Moore, Romero, Spence, and Simmons. The interesting thing with Simmons was, I was saying to EMF, fellow co-owner of this show and admin, I was saying to him before we signed him up, I said, why is it the clubs don't go for more than a 1-year option extension on their contracts? Why don't they go for 2 years? And the following week, when we signed Simmons, they've got a 2-year option on him. And I just think that makes sense for clubs. You know, when you get a player down to 2 years on his contract, usually you either want them to stay or you get rid of them now rather than getting them 1 year. And I think of clubs that have wised up. It's taken lots of years, but I think they've wised up. The football season next year will start a week later, I think, because this is the World Cup dates, guys. So I don't know how that's going to affect the transfer window. This year it went from, I think it was June the 1st, didn't it? Transfer window went from June the 1st, and then it goes into the first week in September. So, because it's usually 11, 12 weeks. So this World Cup's going to run from then. And then what usually happens, sadly, after a World Cup, players that are away come back. And they're at high risk of injuries if they don't get a chance to rest. Right. We've gone through that. Gone through the academy loans. Gone through the yellow cards. Oh, this is something that may or may not interest you or bore you to death. Right. For those of you who don't know that are watching, the 60 of you that are viewing us on various platforms, the Premier League playoffs will beginning league beginning right. So we're going to have a PSR rule. Profit sustainable rules weren't brought in. We were still under the old FFP, which was the finance fair play rule. Well, that old rule where clubs could lose 35 million over 3 years, 105 million over 3 years, is being replaced. Great. Clubs are allowed to spend 80% of their total revenue. Now, that's after total football revenue expenditure. So, for example, all players' wages, managers, money owed on transfers, I think. If I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will correct me. My understanding of this is that you take that off. So, for example, say you earn 500 million a year and all your football-related expenditure or the expenditures related was 300 million. You would then have 200 million left, right? You could spend 85% of that, which would be 170 million, right? You'd be able to spend that. Not many clubs are raking in 500 million like Spurs are, right? But that's in the Premier League. If you're a club that's regularly in Europe, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, hopefully us, you can't spend that much because UEFA rules are different. I think they're about 75% of total revenue, and I think they want to bring that down to 70%. And I get that because clubs in Europe are virtually facing bankruptcy, a lot of them. So that means that if a team in the Premier League is playing in Europe, they can't have an unfair advantage in this transfer window by spending like a lot more money than clubs in Europe can spend. So that's on that. Scroll down. Transfer. Oh, my dreaded hate. We've been linked with, apart from Semenyo, who I'd like, and we should go and get him. Simply because if he has got a 65 million release clause, we should release it in January. And the reason I say that is because a lot of clubs out there have spent heavily or rather have spent heavily. Now, if we strike while the iron's hot, we might be able to fend them off because we don't know what money those clubs have got to spend. And we don't know if they'll wait until after April when they do their financial reports. So after that period, once they've submitted that and the new transfer and the new season starts, when they can spend again, they might have a lot more money to spend then than they have now. So I think if we're going to go in this transfer, I know it's a difficult window, 30 days only, right? January, well, the month of January. We should really go into, if we've got this 100 mil, plus we've had 70 mil already. We were going to buy Savina with a City, so we should have at least 170 mil. Just bring in 2 quality players, just 2. Go and get Nico Williams as well as Semenyo, right? Go and get him. We could get. See, it depends on who you like. I mean, like we could get like Vlahovic in, probably pay the wages he wants. If not, when people talk about wages, another thing I think, if you don't want to break your wage structure and you're paying 200, 220 max to Richarlison, going to give VDV the same or whatever, then if you bring a new player in, when you sign him, when you say, well, look, we don't want to break that play structure, but what we'll do is we'll give you X a million signing on fee to make it up as if you were on a bit more money per week, like whatever it was. There are ways around it. Or you just don't do the deal. Simple. There's one comment here. Who's this? Yeah, Jimmy. Big up, Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah, it was we defeated ourselves in the end. We did so many. There were so many positives to take from the game, but then we shoot ourselves in the foot. Sarr, unfortunately, couple of errors. You know, I'm not throwing him under the bus for it, but he'll learn from the experience, mate. He'll learn from it. Let's go back, see if I've got any more banners. If you any comments in the chat, I'll gladly bring them up. If not, right. Forget this first fixture. These are our upcoming fixtures. So we got Fulham home Saturday, which 8 o'clock, isn't it? It's a late kickoff. I don't like the late kickoffs, but yeah, like the pressure's on Frank now on this game. But if we apply ourselves like we did at PSG, we should win this game. Then Newcastle away. Tuesdays, yeah, we've took some batterings there. And then we got Brentford at home. We should beat them. Then we get Slavia Prague. I think against Slavia Prague. I don't know if Decky's in the European squad. I can't remember. I would think he would have been. I think this will be a game you might see Decky or Dragerson or even Takai get some time. At least come off the bench and get game time. If they haven't already by then. Then we got Forest. And then, yeah, Liverpool home before Christmas. They're having a terrible time there. I've got no sympathy for them, though. They want sympathy, they'll find it in the dictionary. It's somewhere between shit and syphilis. And then Saturday the 20th, we got Palace away of having a very good season after their FA Cup win. Yeah, nothing against Palace. So they're the fixtures. I don't really want to talk about transfer rumours. It's mainly some menu. You got Rodrigo at Madrid. I'd take either of those. I like Vlahovic. A lot of the fan base don't like him. They're a bit on him. A bit meh. I actually like Mainz Aklouesh from Monaco, who played against us. I mean, they actually created a lot more, I thought, against us than actually PSG did today in Monaco. They look much more of an attacking threat because they were an attacking threat throughout the whole game, whereas like PSG today just tore us to pieces in the second half, which they're well capable of doing. Yeah. Right, guys, we've been going for nearly an hour. I've tried to fill it out. I've got a couple of comments, so I'll take them. Let's say we're at the playoff home. Away games can be drawn against. Yeah. I mean, look, that's a long way off. I mean, like, we'll see. And Mister's going Wenger out. There's always one for a laugh, isn't there? Right. Right, guys, I'm going to end the show and play out with a bit of a soul music that I wrote. And I'm going to end the stream. I want to thank you all for your comments in the chat. I want to thank the various 60 of you on various platforms still with us now, like they've stayed with us for this like nearly an hour. There isn't really much more to talk about. If I'd have a guests on the show that had turned up, then we could bounce ideas off of them as well. If you like the content, please hit the subscribe button in the bottom right corner if you haven't already done so, and give the video a thumbs up. Like I said, you can find us on Facebook, Spurs Diet. You can find us on WhatsApp group. You can find us on XCOM. Right. And with that, I want to thank you all for staying with me and my bug. And I'm going to play you out with this Bye, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your support.
We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. Navy blue.